Thank you for this unexpected surprise. First of the day. My name is Dave Chapman. I'm from UCL. If you can't see me in the back, we go Saracens shirt on, go Saracens. We're the hosts for today. We're doing nothing more really than offering you space, but also looking out to reach out to see if there's anything we can do to help small businesses in London. There's a couple of brochures you'll see as you go into the lecture theatre that describe two programmes we have, one called Hello and the other called Smile. And these are two programmes designed specifically for small businesses in London to tap into UCL's resources. So if you think UCL can help you in some way, please just shout out to myself or anybody else who looks like they know what they're doing, knows their way around UCL, and that will be, we're here to help, as it's on.
Okay, so we're having a bit of a problem with the slide deck, but just wanted to thank everyone for coming along today. Introduce Salim Virani, who's trying to get the slide deck to work, and I'm Nikki Smith. So we're both the founders of Lean Camp, which initially came about back in 2009. And so just to kind of try and kind of set an expectation of what you can all get out of today. Today is all about sharing backgrounds and sharing perspectives. There's a lot of people from a wide variety of backgrounds here today. So we've got people that have got experience in Lean, people that experience in Agile, user experience in visual thinking. And some people have experience of Lean Startup, others are curious and interested if it can have relevancy to them. And what we'd like to do is to create a platform for discussion where people can kind of share their backgrounds and share their experiences, and particularly share pain points or difficulties that they're having, and see if there's people with other experiences that can help them break through that. Hurrah, slides working. So we've got lots of people with varying backgrounds here today, and it's all about trying to make. We all have a shared interest. Our shared interest is in entrepreneurship, be that within a bootstrap startup, within an agency environment where perhaps there's incubation going on, or within larger organisations. We all have a shared interest. And what we're trying to do with Lean Camp is create a platform where we can share tools and share methodologies, and particularly prevent people from trying to reinvent the wheel. Because if you're a first-time entrepreneur, there may be methodologies from a user experience background that are relevant to you. And equally, if you're within an enterprise and you're interested in how entrepreneurship can help with innovation, again, there's people with tools and methodologies that can perhaps help you change perspective and change your point of view of how you can go about things. So this is about combining methodologies, combining viewpoints, and making entrepreneurship more accessible. And so in terms of how this all came about, going back to kind of 2009, Sal and I had a conversation about Lean Startup methodology. We were looking at the work of Steve Blank and Eric Ries coming out of Silicon Valley. And we were arriving from very different perspectives. Sal's got a background in entrepreneurship, myself had backgrounds in user experience and research. And we were talking about customer development as we'd first come across it. And we found that we both had an interest in it. We were both interested in entrepreneurship as a practice, wanting to apply it in very different environments. But we had a very, very confusing conversation, because it took us a long time to realise that we were, though we had a shared interest, we were using very, very different languages, different semantics about the same interest area. And so with Lean Camp, it initially came about because we realised that if we could get people with different backgrounds to realise that they have more in common than they first think, there's an opportunity for people to share knowledge and transfer that knowledge. And so that was the driving force for the very first Lean Camp. And so kind of hand over to Sal in terms of who we invited to that first event and the community that's grown from there.
Hey, yeah, so I feel like a mech warrior or something. It's pretty cool. So it kind of spread from there. So when you look at sort of the connections between Lean Startup and say the 37 Signals approach, it seems to agree, completely agree, then completely disagree. And so why don't we get these guys together? Why don't we just have this conversation, figure out what the context is, make this stuff more actionable, and just make this so that there's just greater contact between us, the guys doing this stuff, and trying to figure it out, and listening to more than one person, and the people who are actually the thought leaders behind it. And we saw connections between the Lean Startup approach and validation and the business model innovation approaches, and So we just wanted to bring it all together, and it's got connections with visual thinking and so on. But it quickly turned into this, right? We kept inviting more people and kept finding more and more connections, and we ran out of dimensions for a Venn diagram. So basically we just invited you guys here instead. So basically we are today you are experiencing something like a 15-dimensional Venn diagram. You're part of that. So one of the things that happens at Lean Camp that I've noticed is, and especially if you get into sort of these debates that happen online, like what's the one right way? You guys are doing it wrong. We're better. Ha ha ha. Like it's always people who want to contribute and want to help and think they've got an approach, something to offer, but it somehow descends into less actionable conversation. So one thing I'd suggest today is there's this phrase, it's, meet your customer where they are, not where you want them to be. So if you find yourself getting into this type of discussion and you want to make it actionable, we have half-an-hour sessions. We've got to be really quick. We've got to make this valuable, and really we want you guys tomorrow morning on Monday to be able to apply what you've learned and actually make progress and shorten your learning cycles, shorten the time it takes to make progress. And the way to do that is to focus on current challenges and focus on them. So if it's this like highfalutin debate, if there's somebody in the room who has that challenge right now, focus on that and become a problem solver for them. Offer solutions, and the way they perceive the challenge is the right way to approach it for now, right? So we meet them where they are. The bigger picture of that is, we have and will continue to, and today will spark new tools. And because we're solving the immediate problems that we have in the room, we're the people doing this stuff. We're pushing the next evolution in entrepreneurship, and it's just the beginning. So one thing we're focusing on today and moving forward with all of the Lean Camp events internationally is what we start today. We're going to work really hard to try and open these conversations. So an idea that you have, great, benefits the people in the session. Everything's going to be recorded. Everything is going to be transcribed and put online. And we have a blogger network. We have a bunch of community leaders who are ready to look at this stuff and add and contribute to the conversation and keep it going online. So please share. We're going to change this URL. You might be familiar with it already. We're going to change it to point to the Lanyard site, the Lanyard page for this after we do the sessions. And as you're doing stuff, please capture artifacts. If you're taking visual notes, if there's some cool thing on the wall, take a picture of it, tweet it. Lean Camp, use the tag on Twitter and Flickr. And yeah, I just really want to thank everybody. This is the biggest Lean Camp ever, but it's also been the easiest and the most sort of pleasureful to put on because everybody is contributing so much. And Toby, Kumi, Tendai, Amit, Vicky, the whole UCL enterprises, like seriously just stepped up. And now of course the great speakers, everybody is volunteering their time here today. So just really want to thank them. Give them a round of applause, please. They're making it happen. Oh yeah, sorry. Volunteers have red tags, so if you have questions, please ask a volunteer. And I'm going to hand off to Benjamin Mitchell, who is he's a bit of a lean legend in around these parts. I know he hates his stuff. I'm embarrassing him. Benjamin has been a long-time lean practitioner. He's basically lean project manager and stepped in and saved some projects using lean methodologies, and he's very, very well studied and very capable in terms of the ideas of how we learn and how organizations learn, and a very good facilitator. And he offered to help us facilitate the open space session. So I bit his arm off, and so now he's here. So hand it over to Benjamin. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Hi everyone. This is a very big space. So what we're going to let me try and see if we can self-organize, which is one of the principles of open space. And let's see if we can sort of fan back into a bit of a circle. See if we can maximize everyone else's opportunity to see what's going to go on here. Excellent. So everyone see, what we're going to do is create a space. The format that we're using open space. How many people have done an open space conference before? Show of hands, have you done an open space? Who's never been to an open space before? Okay, all right, so open space is amazing because what we're going to do is we're going to create the agenda for your conference today. So this is a technique that we use amongst large groups of people that allows anyone who would like to speak an opportunity to speak, and it's going to maximize what you're going to get out of the day. So it's about sharing the responsibility for what you get out of today. What we've got here is the agenda. So you can see at the moment, at 10 o'clock we're doing planning. We've got various sessions through the day that we've marked at the top of these columns. Okay? And in some of these we've got invited speakers who are going to come along. In all these other spaces, that's an opportunity for you. If you would like to propose a session, and a session might be something that you want to tell other people about, or it might just be a topic that you'd like to ask questions about. How do we really do this lean startup? What are some problems with customer development? Any questions you've got, it's an opportunity for you in a moment to come and propose a session. And what we're going to do is to fill this board with agendas. So we've got 8 rooms. The G is cunningly chosen to signify the ground level. And the 1 in all the other rooms cunningly indicates the first floor. Okay, so we've got G06 and 08 down here, and then upstairs we've got 6 other rooms. They are lecture theatre style rooms, so just keep that in mind for most of them. And I've ordered them in sort of size order. So when we come and propose something, you know that the one at the top has 100, 85, we've got 114. I've slightly tricked the order because I've got the ground floor first. We've got 114 upstairs. So the idea is, as I say, that we're going to create this agenda in a few moments. What I wanted to do first of all, actually, was to encourage people to use their voice. There's some wacky research that shows in surgery, if people talk to each other before they do the surgery, the outcome is better. We don't really know why, but it turns out that it's the case. So what I wanted to do, and this might be a bit dangerous, I'm going to ask in a second for you to choose someone that you don't know to talk to, okay? And I'll give you an idea about what you might say. And we're going to do that for about 3 minutes, and then I'm going to ask everyone to be quiet again so that we can continue with the session here. So what I'd like you to do is to find someone that you don't know yet, and just, if you've been to a Lean Camp before, you might like to tell them what you liked about Lean Camp. If you've never been before, tell them about what you're hoping to get out of the day. So imagine that it's 5:30 and we're just about to head to the pub, and think that you've had a great day. What is it that you've learned? So choose someone that you haven't met yet, introduce yourself, and talk about what you're hoping to get out of it or what you've got out from previous events. We'll do that for about 3 minutes. much. That was ferocious. What a great sound, like a wave of conversation. So I hope that was a good opportunity for you to meet, at least meet someone else. And that's the point of today, to meet other people. From my point of view, the best thing about open space is the number of other practitioners you can meet, and you can build relationships that will continue. So although there are experts, or people that would call themselves experts, or people who think others are experts, the day is about you, okay? It's an opportunity for you to contribute and to get things out. So just a few things. There are a few rules of open space, if you like. The most important one from my point of view is the law of 2 feet, which means if you're in a session and you're not contributing and it's not engaging you, it's your responsibility to use your 2 feet and leave. Okay? So don't be shy about this. This is fundamental to what makes this open space works. If the session isn't engaging you, or you don't feel you're contributing, and there's nothing, you can't do anything about that, or you choose not to, then use your 2 feet and leave, and move to another room. And this is allowed. We want this, because we've got the idea in open space of butterflies that might take an idea from one room to another, and that's completely part of it. So if it's not working from your point of view, feel free to move somewhere else, okay? The other thing, so there are 4 simple principles about open spaces as well. So whoever comes is the right people, okay? So what we're going to do in a second is ask those that would like to come and grab a piece of paper and write their session name on it, and then choose a space. Any time is available. You can use the lunch hours as well. We've got some slots that have invited speakers in them, so you can use those other times as well. Just be aware that people may choose to attend the invited speaker. That's allowable. So any space in this grid is allowable. I want you to come up and announce the topic that you'd like to talk about, and you write your name and the topic you'd like to talk about, and then post it on the board. And then it's your responsibility to be at the room at that time to start it. But don't wait for everyone to come, and don't be worried if only a few people come. Whoever comes are the right people. Following on from that, whenever it starts is the right time. Okay, ideas and creative pursuits don't necessarily run to a calendar, so feel comfortable just starting as soon as the people have arrived. The first person's there. Wherever it happens is the right place. So you might find actually that there are conversations that happen down here, either at the talkie-okie desk, which is an excellent space for conversation, or just in the hallways. Again, that's allowable, that's what we want. If you've got a topic and you find people that are interested in it and it's not anywhere else and it spontaneously comes up, find a space and use it. And then the final thing is whenever it's over, it's over. Okay, so don't feel that if you've got a slot that's 40 minutes that you have to keep talking because you've got 40 minutes. If it finishes after 10, that's fine. Say, we're finished maybe on this topic, and ask if anyone has a different topic. So don't feel that you need to fill the space. So the process that we're going to do, I've got some half sheets of A4 along there. If you've got a topic that you've been thinking about talking about, or a question that you'd like others to help you with, then fill in the piece of paper, write the topic down and your name, and then we'll spend about sort of 20 seconds each where people will come up and say, my name's Benjamin, I'd like to talk about blah. I'm going to be in room 104 at 11:50 or 11:10, and then just put it there. We need to work through that quickly, and the thing I would ask is it's going to be really hard, I know, to not talk while this is happening, okay? So as I'd say to my children, we need patient pants on, okay? So patient pants on, give everyone who's proposing a topic an opportunity to announce and let everybody else hear it. So if you'd like to speak, find a way of using other space so we don't interrupt other people. So what I'd like to do first of all is ask the John and Alex. John's already warmed his up. Is John here? John? Would you like to come and just, in a second we'll announce yours. Now anyone else who would like to propose a topic, please come and grab a piece of paper and a pen, write it down, and then if we could have a queue formed along here, okay? Okay, alright, so while we're waiting for John, if you start us off, I'm going to hold you a piece of paper, just say your name, the topic, and where you'll be and when.
Okay, what Benjamin's asked me to do is say who I am and what I'm going to talk about. So I'm John Mullins. I'm a three-time entrepreneur, currently a professor at London Business School. I've written a couple of books that some of you will have read. I'm going to talk at, what time? 11:50 in room G08 about building business models that rewrite the rules in your industry.
Brilliant. Excellent. That's exactly about the right time. Okay, Rob, you go.
I'm Rob. I am going to do just a broad intro to Lean Startup, but I'm going to do it without using any buzzwords, acronyms, case studies, or examples that have been used before to talk about Lean Startup. So if you're new to Lean Startup or you want to hear it in different words, I'll be doing that. I'll do it at the start. So 11:10. I need tape.
Yes. Okay, we'll fix the tape and move along.
Hi, I'm Daniel Tenner. I'll be doing a talk about the Lean Startup skill set. So going beyond the methodology of what Lean Startup methodology is, what kind of skills do you need to be able to apply it successfully, whether that's sales or development or all these kind of things. It will be a kind of workshop session to try and figure out what are the skills and where to get them.
Okay, next.
Hi, I'm Carlos from Seedcamp. I'm going to hold a session on startup financing. I wasn't sure what to call the title, so maybe every question you wanted to ask about raising funds but was afraid to ask. I'll put it at 11:10 as well somewhere.
Hi, my name is James. I'm going to be talking about public relations for startups, basically getting awareness out there so that beyond simply having an idea, you're actually looking to get some awareness in the wider market with customers, partners or financiers, and how to do that, and some ideas about whether you need to actually get some external help in or what you can do yourselves and not spend too much on it. So I think I'm going to be 11:10, probably in room 106 by the look of it.
Hello, my name's Chris. I'm a cartoonist. I'm going to do a workshop on visual note-taking and sketch notes. So any drawing skills, if you're Leonardo and you don't know how to draw, it's fine.
Where and when?
11:10. So
11:10's better luck than choose it.
Okay, 11:50 is fine. I think.
What about 14:10?
Okay, 2:10.
Oh, you wanted to hear the room and where it was, is that right? Yeah, so it is at 2:10 in G06. Okay, all right, this feedback is good earlier, thank you for it. So the topic is visual note-taking and sketch notes. Once we've finished this, there'll be an opportunity for everybody to come up and look at the board, and this will be here all day, so use it to choose each session, okay?
Hi, my name is Juan, and I came from the world of design thinking. And for a long time, I'm developing creative projects and also startups. So I'm using Lean principles and agile methodologies, and I'm trying to mix all together. So I would like to share my point of view with you and start a discussion about it.
I think at 3:20. 3:20 in 106.
Hey, I'm Tony. I work for Divisible End, which is a startup based in London, and I'm going to work a session called Blend It Up, where I'm going to talk about the way I mix, or I try to mix, a few different tools and techniques coming from Lean, Agile, and all sort of things, and big data, to try to make successful our startup. Thanks.
Time?
When they always look. After the year.
Okay.
So G08, 11:50? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Strange. I'm Lucas. I'm proposing a session which is also on user voice, which is applying Lean startup principles in practice. Basically, the reason why I'm interested in that is I co-created the Lean Canvas, which is an online tool to map your business model. And through that, basically the question is, do people use tools? Do people run, have advisors, these kind of things? And just talk through your experiences will be very much an open session. Thanks.
It will be, I think it'll take 3:20 in G06, so just before Eric's session, so basically a good startup to start for the session.
Hello, I'm Thomas, and I'm looking for a default Kanban board for product development teams, whether such thing exists, and if it's if it's okay to have one from a philosophical standpoint at 1520.
Hey, I'm Devin Hunt. I'm one of the founders of a little fashion startup called List, and me and Andreas are going to do a little talk about MVPs and startups, and more importantly, how do you know when you've gotten to the point where you can test things and you can learn from our amazing experiences. One of being very, very quick and small bursts, one of taking sort of the much more classic approach of big ideas, test it, and pivot on that. And so we'll be doing that, really very open format discussion, probably a 15-minute intro with some chats. And we'll do that probably, let's say, ooh, I don't know if that with air, that's difficult. How about we do that at 1:30 at GO8? Sound good?
Hi, my name is Andreas, this is Dan. We actually have two sessions we are thinking to combine. The first one is like a really quick one about how to apply cohorts in Google Analytics. And it's really like 5-10 minutes, but very actionable and like very, very useful to many people. And the second one is like we would like to share some lessons we learned in the topic of metrics, like lessons we learned like the last year. And it's kind of meant to be an open session, so we will start off with like few learnings we have, and then we'd like have everybody who wants and everybody is interested in metrics to join that and like share some lessons they have. Anybody interested in that? Yeah. Okay.
When makes sense?
Suggestion?
2:10? So it's 2:10 in 106.
Hi, I'm Chris. Most examples I see of startups are when you're competing against established companies. So I'm interested to see what, if anything, changes when you're competing against other startups, especially if they're offering a different model to you, potentially free. Early feedback. Anybody going to see Eric? Okay, so we'll do it at 4:40 in 106.
Thanks. Hi everyone, my name is Easy, like Sunday morning. I work for Google and I've been a long-time blogger, so my session is going to be on effective business blogging. And to borrow a great line from Rob, where is he? If they don't care about your blog, they won't care about your startup. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to make them care about your blog. I'm going to do it at 4:40.
Hi, my name is Joseph Wilk, and I'm a software developer at Songkick. And I want to propose a session called Acceptance Testing in the Land of the Startup, which is really, again, no BS, just explaining some experience and some stuff that's happened at Songkick as a startup over the last 3 or 4 years, and really thinking about software development and how we write good code and how that happened at the beginning and not just halfway through or towards the end. Oh, room number. Somewhere where I've woken up. Maybe 210.
Hi, my name is Don. I'm from Amsterdam, and I have a confession. I'm a Startup Weekend junkie. I've attended a few Startup Weekends throughout Europe and facilitated and organized a bunch more. So I see a lot of the same mistakes being made. So I thought it was a good idea to host the sessions on how to get the most out of a Startup Weekend, share my lessons, and also invite some of you guys to share your lessons. So kind of looking at extreme product development, I'm hoping to share these topics 3:20. Thank you.
Which room? I might say with the rooms, let's put stuff up, and then we may. I'd say for the room, the best thing is to check beforehand. So come up and look at the board. And yeah, that's all.
Hello, my name's Ricky. I was thinking of having an open format session on user experience strategy, as in thinking about what your long-term goals are for user experience and how to make sure that your startup is user-driven from the outset. And I don't want to miss anyone else's talk, so I'll do the coffee session in the afternoon. I'll do it on the ground floor.
Okay, great. Let's move the line forward a bit. So
Hi, my name is Boone. I'm a UX designer. I am going to be doing a session on how to validate your customers using diary studies, which is a qualitative research method. I think it's going to be quite practical. I've also worked in startups, so I'm not going to just bounce around on theory. It's going to be kind of, there'll be examples and stuff. I'm going to be doing my session at 15:20 at 1:03.
Hi, my name's Jonathan. I am interested in content strategy, so I'd like to have a discussion type session about why startups need content strategy, and I'll do that at 2:10.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm an entrepreneur, and I wrote a book called Business Model Generation. So I'm going to be available at 1:30 to talk about this. Oops, one hand is difficult. And mostly, you know, the hundreds of things that I've seen that go wrong, that great products are not enough.
Hello, my name is George. I'm a UX designer and would like to do a session on prototyping and without any skills, budget, or time.
So do you want to choose a time?
Yes.
No, sorry.
And the time is 3:20.
Hello everyone, my name is Sasha Kebe from SAK Design. We developed a methodology for translating business strategies into the creative strategies, so combining branding and marketing together. And what I would like to do, actually, to have a discussion with people, find out what you are learning, what issues you have, and have a finding out. We can introduce what we do for the startups, launching them into the market, and see how specifically we could help you, or what can be done for startups like you. I like the coffee session time, so please pick up a coffee to the session I will have at 2:40.
Hi, I'm Paulina, or Pau, and there are two things. One of them I'd like to offer, and one of them I'd like to ask for. The thing I can offer is some of my knowledge about equity-free funding. I'd like to invite to that session everybody who has actually managed to get a grant or tax break and would like to talk about what is easy and what is difficult about it, as well as people who are very skeptical and think they can never ever land their hands on government funding. And I'll do that at 11:50. And one thing I'm interested in, if anybody could potentially talk about it, how to apply lean methodologies in non-tech companies. I'd be very interested to participate in a session about that. Cheers.
Is this just for me?
It's just for you. Good time.
My name is Emma. I'm the founder of the Open Book of Financial Innovation. I'm also a life and business coach, and I can offer you a peer-to-peer group coaching session tonight for the people that would like to explore what are their objectives, business objectives for the next 6 months or 12 months. So I'll be in the late afternoon.
Hey, my name's Joanna. I actually have 2 sessions, so I'm going to read out both and then I'll ask you to help me prioritize. I might do both if there is enough slots left. Oh, I lost one already floor. Maybe that's a sign. What I had is the one I want to do more. Okay, the first one is user experience research tips for custom development. I gave a talk called How to Give More Than Opinions that some of you might have seen, but this one is more practical. So I'm just going to talk about what is in the user experience toolbox, some very practical things about guerrilla research, because I think startups can look at what other disciplines like UX have done and not make some mistakes that I have. So that's the first one. The second one, I'm interested in the business model canvas as a working tool within a lean process. So Sal and Alex said I could ask them questions. So I've prepared a few questions and hope that they will share some of their experience. So I'm going to ask you to vote by clapping. Who wants to see the UX research one? Clap now. Stop. Who wants to see the business model canvas as a working tool? Clap now. Is this exactly the same?
Do it again, do it again.
research one in at 11:10, and then I'll see if there's slots left. I'll do the other one sometime in the afternoon after Alex's talk.
All right, I'm going to, just to make sure that everyone has a chance, we'll just do one at a time, no voting. Okay, so put the one that you most want to talk about here. I'm going to be unilateral in this. And then if you want a second topic, feel free to come back and line up again. Okay, there are plenty of slots still available.
Okay, hi, I'm David Gilder. I'm building a new cloud service for millions of users for a software company that I'm now director of. And one of the things I'm really interested in is building analytics and A/B testing tools for web apps. Because I've done it before with my previous startup. I'm now doing it again. I've got some experience which I can give, but I'm also interested in people who've done it and kind of scaled these kind of frameworks out for millions of users. So that, so I want to hear what other people have done so I can actually build it. And also I'm hiring. If you're a product manager, engineer, or product marketer, please come and speak to me.
Okay, so when are you going to do that?
I will do that at 11:50.
That was 11:50.
Hi, this is Don again from Startup Weekend. Actually, last weekend we had a mini Startup Weekend in Amsterdam with about 15 entrepreneurs, and we wanted to create a minimal viable product for the Lean Startup Test. And basically our goal was to get you the best content for your situation, because there's a lot of content all on the internet, but some of it might be too advanced, some of it might be too easy. So that's what we set out to do. We came across a lot of things that became complicated, but we created something, and I just want to see your input and maybe your advice on how to take this further. So I'll be doing this at 11:10 in 105A.
Hello. Apparently it takes 3 people to pass the mic. Hello, my name is Evgeny, and I work for Forward. We are not a startup, we are an established company, but we grow by creating new startups, new projects within the company using lean techniques. And I would like to do a session at the coffee break at 20 to 3 to share my experience of building new startups within an established company and to discuss your experiences. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Andy. Myself and my co-founder are still at pre-startup stage, so we're still kind of keeping it on the wraps. I can't say too much, but I'd really just like to invite some people to a session taking an idea through to the concept, through to the actual building of a product stage. So I'd like to invite some people in, because that's something we're both very interested in understanding more about. So I'm going to be bold if I can put that in at lunch. Is that okay? Because there's so much stuff I don't want to miss. Is that okay for everyone else? If people happy to go next time lunch? I've stopped. Okay, thanks, cool. GO6.
Okay, so I noticed that the queue is empty. Always. So this is an opportunity. If you want to, we have lots of slots available. They're all here. This is a great, probably the best time of the day to announce to everybody and try and get interested people to come along. It doesn't matter if your idea is only for 10 people. We have 2 rooms upstairs that will seat about 10 and stand 20. So if you've just got something that you think is a small-scale discussion, feel free to propose that as well.
Okay, so my name is still Alex. I brought 10 iPads with me that I installed yesterday until 2 o'clock in the morning. And I put an app on there that we developed to actually do a sanity test of your business model. Just the conceptual part before you go test it. So during the coffee break, you can join me and grab one of the iPads during the coffee break. Okay? So you're not going to leave with them, but during coffee break.
I'm proposing a session. I'm a psychologist, social scientist, research methodologist from the University of Kent. My name is Tendai. I'm proposing a session of maybe talking about other methods of analyzing data for lean startups beyond just the A/B test. Maybe other statistical techniques that startups can use. I don't really know where I'm going to be. Room 104, I guess. 11:50. Is that it? Yeah.
Okay. Would anybody else have an idea or a question that they'd like to propose?
Benjamin, I'll do one more. Some of you are working on an opportunity and maybe you're beginning to worry about, is it really good? And I'll do a session sometime later in the day on assessing your opportunity. Shall we say, where do we go here? 14:10.
Okay. Oh, sorry, there's some... Where's the sticky tape? The masking tape, rather?
It's on the table.
It's on the table. Okay, there's some masking tape there. Since there are slots free, I'm really passionate. I'm really passionate about conversations, and the way Lean Startup says that data makes decision making better. I think that's true unless the data is embarrassing or threatening. In which case, I think there are ways that we can learn to talk and have conversations that will help us deal with it more effectively. So that's what I'm passionate about. So approaches to difficult startup conversations that, if you're willing, would involve some role play as well. There's an opportunity for role play. I'm going to do that. Oh, I didn't think this through. I'm going to do that at 14:10 in room 104.
Anyone else? Anybody else?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Doug Morrison. I don't really want to miss any session, so what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about in other sessions. But I'd like feedback, and if you can call me if you've got any views on this. I want to look at the idea of having an incubator for student teams to do a startup that's got an exit strategy of 6 weeks. Now, there's a lot of hack days and hack weekends that accomplish a lot in a weekend, so I think in 6 weeks they could accomplish a lot. You need to choose the project very carefully if it's going to have an exit strategy of 6 weeks. Various ways of exiting, maybe you've finished everything, you've done everything you've accomplished, or when you create a viable business that other people can do as a franchise or do it as an open business model. So I'd like your feedback on that. I've also produced a DITA-based business model methodology, and it's just as early stages, but I'd like feedback on that. Find out more about what I'm doing by using the details of my business card, which says Doug Minimalist. So if you just Google that, you can find out what I've been doing.
Hey, my name is Jacob, and I have a discussion topic that I actually don't know a lot about, and the discussion would be about freemium versus free trial models. What works for you? What you found out about for example, A/B testing was the best model for you or for your startup?
And when are you going to do that? 11:50. Okay.
I chose the longest session name, so I'm still writing. But so I've seen huge value from blogging recently, and what stops people is they sit down and they go, what am I going to write about? So I know some people here have already gone through this, so you probably don't want to come again. But like we're basically going to come up with 2 months worth of blogging ideas for you in like 20 minutes. So it's going to be a workshop, and then you'll never be able to say that. So we're just going to front load the creative version, and then next time you sit down, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm writing about that, and it'll make your life easier.
When?
During lunch. Yay!
I have one thing. I have an idea for sort of an education for myself. I recently made the transition from guy who builds stuff to guy who manages people who build stuff, which was really weird because I still want to build stuff. So I thought it might be interesting to have a discussion where people can talk about how they, like in a production environment, actually ship stuff when you're trying to keep things very focused, useful, but still have all these weird deadlines to meet now. It's no longer you in your garage just typing, you actually have to meet deliverables that your customers expect. Would people be interested in showing each other how each person does their own little production schedule or Kanban board, things like that? Show of hands. Anyone? Couple? All right, I'll choose a small little room. We can all just like draw on a whiteboard and show everyone what each other does. So let's do 3:20 in 105. Does that sound good? Cool.
All right, anyone, as they've heard all of these, come up with a suggestion? There's a still paper there. No? Okay, so feel free, if you do come up with a topic during the day, maybe as you hear things, there might be things that develop or questions you've got, feel free to use any of these slots, okay? So now would be a great time to announce, because everyone's got their patient hats on, which has been brilliant, well done. Everyone's been listening very clearly, so now's a great time. But if anything comes up at any point during the day, feel free to just grab some paper, we'll make sure we leave it near the board, and a pen, and just name your topic, okay? So just then to go through, at the end of the day we're going to have closing. That's an opportunity if you'd like to come and share any sort of learnings or aha moments, give any feedback. We'll be doing that in the large lecture theatre at the end of the day. Eric is here on the board by name. He hasn't come up to announce. I think in the interest, I'm sure everyone knows who. Well, if someone doesn't know who Eric is, would you like to announce Eric and what he might be doing?
Sure. Yeah. So, does anyone not know who Eric is? He's super famous, and he actually got attacked by paparazzi on the way here. So, no, seriously, he's got. He apologizes. He is coming. There's just the media schedule sort of took over his life, as you might have seen from his blog post. So he will be here. He's the guy who coined the Lean Startup. Sort of tried these ideas out at his company InView, and now writes for Harvard Business Review and so on. And it's basically, on this like single man campaign around the world to spread the methods that come out of Lean Startup for the rest of us. So yeah, that's Eric.
Okay. All right then. So I think unless we've got
I'm Richard Stowe-Watts, and I'm going to do a little trial of something that we did at a Management Away Day a couple of weeks ago, which is accessing your right side of your brain to do innovation. So it's going to be a little drawing exercise. Bring along some paper and a pen, and we'll do some drawings and get you accessing the right side of your brain.
At what time?
Lunch. Did lunch?
Okay, all right, well thank you very much everyone for being so patient and listening to everyone as we went through that. According to our schedule, we're starting at 11:10, but along with the rules of open space, whenever it starts is the right time. So feel free to come up and look at the board to plan your own schedule if you'd like, see what's on first, and I hope everyone has a really good day. And,
We've got 5 minutes. Can we just realise the ones at 11:10? We've got 5 minutes and we start rather than...
Okay. All right, so there's an opportunity for 185 people to meet in Geo6 when nothing is scheduled. Who knows what might come out. Rob is doing Intro to Lean Startup with no buzzwords or acronyms in Geo8, which is on the ground floor over there. Then in 106 upstairs, we've got James doing PR for startups, getting awareness. Then in room 110, startup financing. Then in room 104, we've got how to get more than opinions, UX research tips for customer development. And 105, Lean Startup, test great content for your situation, need your input. So those are the options.
Oh, okay. and here we're going to have general chit chat.
What do you want to have?
Talkio. Yeah, this is Talkio. It's a kind of talk show. It's pretty simple. Just talking to this mic. We're just going to be getting ideas, getting the flow, finding out what people are saying, trying to really get a bit of creativity going in terms of thinking and finding out, where this whole day is headed, and what the main things coming out of it are, and just general anecdotes, jokes, irrelevancies, anything really that happens around the table of chat. We'll just find out, what people have got to say. So come and have your say over here.
Yeah, please do. This is basically.
Give him the mic.
Please join Talkioki. This is basically where all the conversations can come together, and we'll actually have a record of all this. It's a really cool visualization system. It's basically a customer development machine for 185 people. So it really, if there's anything you're learning, anything interesting, please bring it to the table because it helps us learn what Lean Camp London 2 looks like and what we can take forward from there. So please join Talkioki. It's really awesome and it's loads of fun and yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Remember the law of 2 feet. If you're not engaged or interested, use your feet. Be like a butterfly. Take your ideas somewhere else.
Butterflies use feet.